What's up, everyone? Mayong hapon gid sa inyo tanan. Welcome back to TEDx Villamontes Ideas Worth Spreading series, an online exclusive fundraising campaign where we talk with the leaders of today spearheading revolutionary work for a better tomorrow. My name is Gina Lopez, head of the finance and budget team, and your host for today's interview. Before we continue any further, we ask everyone to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TEDx Villamonte. Link is in the description of this live. This will help generate funding for our TEDx event coming this October, so please do subscribe and like all our videos on that channel. Madamo gid nga salamat. Our esteemed guest today is Cheska Bernabe. She's one of the founders of Shaka Swimwear, a Filipino swimwear brand created with a passion for surfing and the tropics. It was inspired by the beauty of the Philippine Islands and driven by two spontaneous and bold women. Dedicated to creating both aesthetic and functional designs, their swimsuits are perfect for any type of beach look, whether to catch a wave or to just feel comfortable in your own skin. She's also an advocate for sustainable tourism and continues to explore the Philippines and its best kept wonders. Currently, she works in Ogilvy, Philippines, where she hones her passion for marketing. So, without any further ado, let us welcome our surfer, entrepreneur, and guest for today, Miss Bernabe. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Gino, afternoon. Thanks for having me also.
Yes, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us and share more about your business and your entrepreneurial project. So, what inspired you to start this swimwear line? And tell us
Um, so,
more about Shaka Swimwear.
okay, sure. So my best friend and I started this in 2018. So we were in senior year of college, and then we decided that we wanted to do something in line with what we're passionate about, which is surfing and traveling around different beaches of the Philippines. So we decided to make a swimwear line that's affordable for surfers, since most brands like Roxy and Billabong are really expensive and are known to be thousands of pesos. So we wanted to make a brand that encapsulates all the needs of surfers, but is still affordable and in the market of the Philippines. So we started this in 2018. I think it was September, and then right now, so we're going on 2 years, and then we're hoping to expand also in the future.
I see. So, where is your business mostly based right now?
So right now we're mostly online given everything going on with COVID. So you'll see us
Yeah.
online on Instagram and then also our website shakaswim.ph. And then we also have a store in Fat Lip Siargao. So you'll also find a lot of our suits there. And then hopefully after this we'll be able to go to different surf spots like La Union, Zambales, and Baler.
I see. So, since that you mentioned in your description, in your brand description, that you want to reflect the beauty of the Philippines. So, in what way does this swimwear reflect the natural aesthetics of our country?
So right now our swimwear is actually slip on. So there are no hooks, no clips, no strings or anything like that. So we really try to capture like the natural look, and then we actually don't do any prints. So everything is plain colors, and then we still try to also fit with the morena skin, and then also
That's
foreigners. A lot of our buyers in Siargao are actually foreigners. So we really try to make as many colors as we can that fit different personalities and different lifestyles.
that's nice to hear that you also wish to accommodate the moreno skin, since that I believe a lot of fashion products aren't typically catered to those of different skin pigments other than white. And
Yeah.
it's great to hear that we're trying to vie for that inclusivity even in our own country. So, given that you started this in your senior year of college, what challenges did you face in starting your swimwear? And in that light, how can one ensure a business remains sustainable both financially and environmentally?
So when we started this, actually, we also had to do our own fundraising. So my best friend and I, her name's Bea. So we had to do a bit of fundraising for around 3 to 4 months before we actually started. And then I'm sure you know also that the swimwear category on Instagram has a lot of competitors. So we had to find a way also to stand out. So we really had to do a lot of research on the market and then research on all the things that we need to find. Another struggle we had was also to look for a supplier, since a lot of the suppliers here actually don't sell neoprene or also even nylon spandex, which is what swimwear is made of. So we really had to find the best quality and then still be affordable. So that's actually just a few of the challenges we had to face. And then we also had trouble looking for an online or offsite store. So we also had to find different connections to actually get the Siargao. And then we also had to look for different connections to finally make it to Balair, hopefully in a few months. So right now, I think the most important thing about an online brand is that you still have to remain relevant to the news and
Mhm.
still, of course, know your target market and know their needs, especially given the circumstances right now. So right now, we're really trying to partner with local brands, also help each other out given the circumstances again, and then hopefully we'll be able to pull through after this pandemic.
I see. And that's nice actually that you're, you know, cooperating with other local brands, empowering each other, and especially right now in the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of businesses are struggling to stay alive. So before we cover, we're going to ask you as well how you're doing during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to ask, how does one go promoting their products online, given that you said that Instagram and generally the online market is very crowded and very competitive? What organic or non-organic strategies should entrepreneurs implement in order to promote their product in the online marketplace?
Well, for organic, definitely picking the right model. So I think what's happening now is that, of course, like with respect to all models, there's a really a certain look that Filipinos look for.
And what look
Sometimes you look,
may that be?
I guess, more foreign looking, white skin, certain body type. So with Shaka, we really try to market ourselves as a brand for all shapes and sizes. So we have from big to small sizes. We have suits that are flattering, even if, um, like you're not as small or not as thin as everyone else. So with that, I think we really try to, of course, first pick the right models to model our brand and to also choose the right influencers. So we don't just choose influencers by the number of followers that they have or the number of likes that they get on their posts. We also choose them based on their lifestyle. So if you see a lot of the influencers also on our page, they're actually more of travel oriented and they're not just taking random photos in their houses. So yeah, like really picky in that sense. And I think it really helps also to stand out since a lot of swimwear brands really just yeah, just take photos and it's not really oriented in a certain way. So we really try to market ourselves as good for all people, good for all sizes.
I see, I see. And you say that Filipinos try to go for a certain look, and it's great to hear that you're also being inclusive with your model sizes. And I guess it's also a tip to all the influencers who are watching and to all the influencers out there that it's not just the amount of followers that you have or the amount of likes that one gets, but it's really about finding a personality that's fit for the brand, is I believe what you are saying. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, how has your business adapted in terms of the financial aspects, reaching out to your customers, logistical aspect, and all that?
So luckily, my friend and I actually live nearby, so we're in the same city. So we aren't that affected here in Manila. We're able to contact each other, and then we still handle the logistics side. But our supplier was actually closed for 2.5 months. So
Oh,
everything had shipped out was actually what we had on hand. And then we were still taking orders, but then we were really trying to manage the number of orders also. And we had to lessen also the number of suits that we had to order. So in terms of that, our Siargao shop or our main shop was actually closed. So we really had to move everything online. So our brand has been more active online, and then we're trying to partner with other brands that also need help in marketing.
I see. So you're saying that a lot of people, since that you're already an online business, you've pretty much been prepared already for this kind of business model where you have to do transactions online.
Yeah, so we actually set up our website in October of last year. So before that, we had a lot of problems taking on online payments. But through our website, which has been running for around 7 to 8 months now, we're able to capture payments really quickly just by a click of the button. And then we're also able to do online banking, thank you to all the technology today. So because of that, it's a lot easier to speak to your customers also through online like Instagram and Facebook, so it's a lot easier for us also to communicate and get our message out there because of online payments and branding.
I see, I see. So your brand right now, can I ask, you've mentioned you have a certain target market. Which market usually is an avid fan of your products? Like, are they mostly Filipinos, mostly millennials, or are they of a different, unexpected demographic that people would not be aware about, that there's actually a niche market for them?
So when we created this brand, we actually took into consideration two different markets. So the first one are the common millennial and Gen Zs that really capture online, whether it's Shopee or Lazada. So it's really that market that we try to capture. The ones that are already currently buying swimsuits and the ones that really look for the right Instagram photo, Instagram selfie to take with your nice photo. So we had to make sure the aesthetic side was covered. And then the second market would be the functional side. And I think the side was the one that we really wanted to capture since not a lot of brands were able to capture this in the first place. So
I
we
see.
tried to capture the surf community, although I mentioned to you earlier, I think that it's not as big as we want it to be, but hopefully in a few years, given the right tourism strategies, we'll be able to get more Filipinos and even foreigners in the country to surf and visit all the sites.
I see. So a functional market. Can you explain more what this functional market looks like?
So the functional market could go from around ages 18 until even 40. A lot of
Mm,
surfers here in the Philippines are actually foreigners. So I think most of our buys or most of our sales in Siargao are actually from from foreigners. But then there are also a lot of Filipinos that are starting out to surf. And aside from surfing, we also try to capture, of course, different sports. So beach volleyball, frisbee, and anything that's in the beach, anything that you can use a bikini in. We actually got a lot of pictures recently of people even using our swimsuits in the gym, like as
oh
sports
wow.
bras. So yeah, it's really nice to see that our brand is really dynamic in that sense. So it's not just something you wear in the pool or something like that.
Mm. So to all those who are watching right now, you can actually use Shaka Swimwear not only in the beach but also to do different activities such as frisbee, volleyball, and even to work out with. It's nylon, right? So it's actually, what's this? It's is it suitable for mga, what's this, physical intensive na mga activities?
Yeah, it's nylon spandex, so it's surf proof, and then it's also it's of course it's waterproof. So because of nylon spandex, it's a type of tela that you actually or the material that you could use. It doesn't rust. I mean, it does of course it doesn't rust, but it doesn't wrinkle up easily, and it doesn't fall. So it's really surf proof.
I see. And talking about the surfing community right now, since that you've brought that up, so let's talk about your advocacy for sustainable tourism. So, what are your views on the current state of tourism in the country? How can we make it more sustainable, not only in the environmental sense, but also in the community sense, like for local communities and for local businesses?
Okay, so right now I feel like it's in a really sad state. Given that we aren't having, of course, any even local or international tourists, and it's actually really depressing in that sense. But then I believe that after this, hopefully, a lot of the surf communities can pull through, and that they'll be able to get more tourists. So hopefully, if anyone's hearing this, also always remember to support local brands. So even if you can't go to their communities, try to support them in different ways, like buying in the grocery or taking public transportation or like tricycles that
Mhm.
also help the drivers. Actually, aside from that, I think it's really more of also on social media, you can also capture like by sharing different local brands and then sharing yeah, sharing everyone's story, I guess, since that's the only way we can actually help right now. Aside from that, I feel like because of the massive tourism that we had last year, according to the DOT, you can definitely do a lot of things like do beach cleanups to make sure that the tourist areas are still sustainable since we don't want people to not go back. So we still have to keep getting tourists to come and go. And especially for locals, of course, travel local first before you go international.
Mhm. That's great advice for everyone, actually. Not only to just travel local, but to also shop locally, to take public transportation, to support local vendors in the area, rather than getting your Starbucks at Boracay or something. So you've also mentioned beach cleanups, and for everyone here, for the purpose of everyone here, Alon was actually a recent documentary, and about the environment, and they actually show our waste management problem here in the Philippines, and it shows actually the importance of surfing communities and how they preserve our shores. So in your experience, what importance does the surfing community play in ecotourism and preserving the environment, and what kind of initiatives do they usually do?
So for surfing community, that's really common, especially for the ones that are already known, like La Union or Siargao, to have a massive amount of locals or tourists coming in, especially during the summer and the winter seasons abroad. So I think a lot of the surfing instructors themselves really try to take the initiative, not just, of course, to get more people to come in to learn how to surf, of course, for their own livelihood, but they also do a lot of beach cleanup. So when I was in Siargao for a week last year, I saw a lot of people doing cleanups, which is really nice, and a lot of feeding programs. So actually think the surf community is in the right direction in terms of ecotourism. They're definitely a lot more knowledgeable also in how to take care of the environment. So I feel like it's really more of educating the tourists that come in that's important, and hopefully the government can also do a lot more sanctions for those that throw trash in the ocean or do anything on the shores.
Yes, definitely. And if I were to share some knowledge as well, according to youth environmentalist groups here in Negros, we already have actually one of the best environmental laws in theory, but they're just not applied properly. They're not applied, seriously in our country.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you have any advice? Well, first we're gonna ask, what advice do you have for people who want to be up and coming surfers, for those who want to be part of the surfing community, especially here in Negros where we don't have a sizable community yet?
Well, the surf community, I'm sure that you guys will notice also if you go to the usual ones. So again, like La Union, Balear, Zambales, Siargao. So they're very, very friendly, and actually the rates aren't as expensive as you might think. So you don't need your own board, which is actually a problem because some people think that you can only surf if you have your own board. But there are a lot of places that you can rent, and there are a lot of surf instructors that will really teach you if you go weekly. It's not as expensive as you think, also. So hopefully you guys give it a chance. If you can't do it because you're not in a place that actually has surf, yeah, like has surfing waves that you could surf on. You could do other activities also, like kayaking or anything that will also help locals earn and make a living.
See, and it's great to hear that the surfing community here is very accommodating, and actually, I think a large portion of them are made up by foreigners. Am I correct?
Yeah. So most of the time, actually, the areas in Siargao and La Union are actually owned. The restaurants and everything, and the hotels are owned by foreigners. But then a lot of the surfing instructors are actually locals. So that's how you can help. If you want to learn how to surf, try to get the surf instructor that's locally from there, and that will really help them out. Usually, they're also the ones that will drive you with their tricycles to the area, and it's also the perfect way actually to learn more about the tourism and the history in that area if you meet a local that will actually help you out with everything.
That's nice to hear. Now they're very what's this? They're very accommodating in that way. They not only just do a surfing lesson and then that's done. They actually create a bond with their clients. And
Yeah,
yeah. Oh wait,
yeah,
continue.
yeah. I've actually had a lot of encounters with my friends when we go to La Union or something or somewhere like that. And then we actually get close to the surf instructor. So you don't just get them once, but then every time we go back, you try to get the same instructor since that also helps them. So it's really nice also to learn more about them. And like usually, yeah, like what I mentioned, your surf instructor also becomes your tour guide and also becomes your friend of the area. So it's a win-win for you, honestly.
I see. And you say that actually being with this, being involved with the community gets you to learn more about their community and the state of their tourism and the state of, how they're living. So based on your experience, like for example in Siargao, what can you comment on in terms of the state of their tourism and the state of their community there?
Well, Siargao is really special to me. So the reason why I really love Siargao is that they're a very small environment. I mean, they're a very small community, in fact. But then when you go there, you really feel like you're part of their family. It's like one big family or one big community there. So what I really like about them is that yeah, they'll let you in, they'll help you in everything. You're not gonna be scared. A lot of people I think are scared to go to Siargao or like scared to go to a lot of places that don't have a lot of tourists yet. But then honestly those are the places that people should go to before they actually get populated since usually like the best kept secrets are the most beautiful ones. So I really encourage everyone to go to Siargao or go to any area in the Philippines that hasn't been discovered yet and help out the tourism industry there.
Mhm. I see. So for a second to last question, you actually said best kept secrets. What do you believe are other best kept secrets in the Philippines that, people should check out and discover as well?
So my friends are gonna kill me if I say
Uh-oh.
this. Him.
So for
Um,
all those who are watching live, keep it to yourselves.
Yeah, sorry, Carlos. Sorry, my friends. Um, definitely, yeah, peace. Definitely Romblon if you haven't heard of it yet. So it's an hour away from Boracay. So they have a lot of different activities there. They have a lot of scuba diving, cliff diving, and their water. Like I'd compare it to Apple.
Oh wait, can you
And
repeat that?
then
I think you're
yeah, aside from I would say Sikihor is also probably the friendliest people there, and it isn't as scary as people make it sound. So I think you should go to those areas that actually don't have airport access, since those are the ones with the least amount of people.
I see. So, RB. I'm so sorry. My dog is here with me. He is my companion here, but he doesn't want to appear on camera. So you were saying Sikihor and Romblon. That's quite surprising to hear that Romblon has their own scuba diving industry there.
They have a lot of nice places there. They even have a place called Little Palawan, and it actually looks like El Nido, and it's probably one fourth of the price. So somewhere to
I
go.
see. So, and I believe Ziki Horror is also quite infamous or famous for their horror stories, if I'm not correct. Like mga aswang, like Island of Aswangs.
Yeah, Island of Aswang. I had a few friends that went there. I think we went there around 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. And a lot of them didn't want to go out of the hotel after 9 p.m. because they said baka naswang sila come out or something like that. But we did go out and nothing happened.
Mhm.
Although it really is a ghost town. Like you can't expect nightlife in places like Romblon and Siquijor. But it's still fun if you're really more of the adventurous type. I definitely recommend those two places.
That's nice to hear. And thank you so much for those recommendations. And to all those who are watching, hopefully we can take it to our graves. Otherwise, our guest may be killed by her friends. So, lastly, going back to Shaka Swimwear, what advice can you give to up and coming entrepreneurs for those who want to start their own online business or their own business that wish to support communities or wish to spread a certain message?
Well, two things. The first one, make sure you're passionate about it. Make sure that you're really gonna work on it. Since I really believe that if you're gonna start an online business, it's not something that you can half bake or anything like that. So you really have to work on it. Find time for it. So even if you have a full time job, which I actually have right now, I still try to do it at night or do it in between work hours or even do it on weekends. So you really have to put a lot of effort into it if you wanted to grow. And then second would be to make sure also that there's a market for it, especially if you're trying to, of course, earn. You always have to make sure that you're hitting the right spots, make sure that you're hitting the right target market, and to make sure that you're actually locally sensitive also. Since right now it's a very sensitive time. So you always have to make sure that you do a lot of things that are also beneficial to the environment. And of course, also buy local products or suppliers if you're starting a business.
Thank you so much for that advice to our up and coming entrepreneurs who may be watching with us. And I believe you have one thing to promote before we end this interview.
Yes, okay. So hi guys. So again, I'm Cheska Bernabe from Shaka Swimwear. So if you guys want to follow us, we're shakaswim.ph on Instagram and then shakaswimph.com if you want to shop on our website. We also have a giveaway coming up tomorrow at 8 p.m. So if you guys want freebies worth around 13,000 pesos, we also partnered with a lot of different brands like Koru Athleisure. So it's a locally athletic brand. So they sell leggings and sports bras. We also partnered with Wear Strut. They're actually a shoe brand, so they're also based in Marikina. So they help the Marikina zapateros. And then we also have another partner called Wear Sunday. So they also use locally made products and then they sell dresses. So if you guys want to win, please support us in our giveaway tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, so everyone, please check out their website, shakaswimph.com. And your Instagram, I believe, is what again? Your Insta tag?
Shakaswim.ph.
shakaswim.ph. So that's all the time we have for today. And thank you so much again, Ms. Bernabe, for joining us here in TEDx. Please continue your advocacy and please continue your local business. And to all our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. And please join us next time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as it will be fundraising for our event this coming October. Sige, maraming
Thank you.
salamat po. Thank you. Salamat po. Bye.